Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be picking my November TBR using my TBR jar. Full transparency, I did try to record this video 2 times already, and both just didn't turn out well. Like the TBR itself, the books I picked were fine. It's just the videos weren't to the quality that I would have liked them to be. So I'm doing it again. Last month for my October TBR, I picked 8 books and I read 5 out of 8 of those books. And actually 4 of them were mystery thrillers, and I got all of those finished, which was really exciting because I did want to read a lot more mystery thrillers in the month of October. But yeah, I did finish all of those in a 24-hour reading challenge, which I will have linked up here in one of these corners. And yeah, and then I had like one more book outside of that. But I thought that was a pretty good reading month, honestly, considering I did go through a mini slump and I traveled out of state. So that's nice. This month, November, is a pretty big month for me. I'm turning 22 in like a couple weeks. It's weird to think about, honestly, but kind of exciting. Thanksgiving is this month, which I'm very excited for. I am traveling again back to California. My whole family's going to be there, so I'm really excited. And then I also start a new job this month, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so it's a pretty busy month. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done. Hopefully a lot, because my fall TBR is looking kind of sad. I have barely read any of the books. Hopefully the prompts I picked today help me get some of those books onto my November TBR. I'm going to pick 8 prompts again for 8 books. I just like having a wide range of books to choose from. And then I'm hoping for maybe 2 or 3 Kindle books, just because I am traveling, and obviously like traveling with a Kindle is much easier than traveling with a book. So that's my plan for this month. The first TBR that I got was really good. Like it was stacked, and the second one wasn't as good. So I'm hoping the third one is good, or an in-between, at least an in-between, because that second one was kind of brutal. It wasn't that bad. It was just one book that I really did not want to read, which is not why I redid the whole video, I swear. I am getting pretty low on prompts, so I'll probably pick the same prompts. Like there's a good chance of me picking the same prompts that I've already picked for this month's TBRs. But if that does happen, then I'll let you know, because I'll probably be choosing the same book. So let's just dive into picking prompt number 1. We're gonna pick this one. I realize you can't even see that. I don't know why I made these so difficult to open when I made this jar full of prompts, but okay, there it is. We have short stories. That's tough. The book that I wrote this prompt for, I actually read last month. So in terms of books that have short stories, I can't even do Assassin's Play because I read that book too. Oh, wait. Just kidding. I do have a book of short stories. I really was worried there for a second. This is Jewel Box by E. Lily Yu. I don't know what it's about. I think it is a collection of more sci-fi-ish short stories. Wow, there's 22 short stories in here. That's crazy. I didn't think there would be that many. At turns bittersweet and boundary-breaking, poignant and profound, these stories sing, as the oldest fables do, of what it means to be alive in the strange, terrible, beautiful world. I don't know how I'll feel about this book. The cover is kind of creepy. I don't know if you can see that. But I guess that's going on the TBR for the first book this month. I don't think I have any other books with short stories. So this one it is. All right, prompt number 2, we have published in my birth month. Oh my god, that's so perfect, because it's November, so it has to be published in November. And it's for my November TBR. How cool is that? Let me see when Heir of Fire was published, because I want to get to that one this month for sure. Nope, that was published in February. That won't work. Do you think November 9 was published in November? Oh, it was published November 10th. Okay, so this is a possibility. Set that off to the side, because I do want to read that this month, because November. What else? When was Killer Instinct published? I read the first book from the series, The Naturals, for the 24-hour reading challenge, and I really liked it, so I wouldn't mind getting this book on the TBR. Oh, this was published November 4th. Okay, so we have November 9 or Killer Instinct. This is such a tough decision. I don't know which one to pick. The thing is, I know I have a prompt in the jar right now that says number in the title. So I could hypothetically get that prompt and put this on the TBR if I get that one. That's a big if. I think I'm gonna go with Killer Instinct. This series is about a group of teenagers who join this FBI program called the Naturals program because they're all naturally good at specific talents that relate to solving crimes. So the main character of these books, her talent is profiling. She's really good at determining people's personalities, behaviors, stuff like that. If you've seen Criminal Minds, it's a very, very similar vibe, just with teenagers. So it's a really fun young adult thriller series. I really liked the first book. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. So I'm really excited to have this one on the TBR. Prompt number 3, we've got... Wow, that's 3 pink prompts in a row. Not that the color means anything, but it's always fun to see which colors get picked. Where? Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time opening these today. Okay, we have published this year. So this is one that actually got pulled twice, both times I recorded this video before. So I guess it really wants to be on my TBR this month. The book I picked out for this is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. It's on Kindle Unlimited right now, so I already have it downloaded to my Kindle library. And yeah, what I know about that book is it was published in February of this year. Yeah, it's an enemies to lovers romance fantasy about a witch and a witch hunter, I'm pretty sure. I've heard so many great things about that book, so I'm really excited to read it. And that is one Kindle book for my travels this month. All right, for prompt number 4, we have another pink one. I swear I'm not trying to pick the pink ones. It's just working out that way. All right. Does that say Kindle Unlimited? It does. Okay, a Kindle Unlimited book. I'm gonna look at the ones I have on my fall TBR. We have One Dark Window, Play Along, When the Moon Hatched, Quicksilver. I think that's all the ones. I'm gonna go with Play Along by Liz Tomford because I have a video idea that includes that book that I really want to do this month. So, 4th book is Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is the 4th book in the Windy City series, and it's basically a collection of sports romances that take place in Chicago. So the first book follows a hockey player and his flight attendant, and the second book is a basketball player and his roommate. The 3rd book is a baseball player and his nanny, and the 4th one is actually another baseball book, and it's about the brother from the last main character, the other baseball player. They're both baseball players on the same team, and it's about the brother and the physical trainer on the team. I'm so excited for this one. The brother has been in, well, he was only in the last book. He was so funny and so sweet, and the little romance that they built up for him in the last book, I'm so excited to see what happens. We got a little hint in the last book of what happens, or like what instigates the whole relationship between the two, so I'm so excited to read it, and perfect opportunity with this prompt. So that means we're halfway through the TBR. So far, I'm actually really liking this one. Not quite what I was expecting, but I'm not disappointed at all. So let's pick our 5th prompt. We've got a purple one this time. So is that a retelling? I also got this prompt, not the first time, but the second time I tried to do this video. And I think it's literally the only option I had is Hooked by, I believe it's Emily McIntyre. Let me pull it up on Kindle Unlimited. Yes. So it's part of a series of dark romances, the Never After series, which I believe is basically fairy tale retellings where the main love interest is actually the villain. And Hooked follows Peter Pan, and I believe in this one, Wendy falls in love with Captain Hook. So that's what I'm going to be picking for the retelling, which means we have 3 Kindle Unlimited books, which I am not mad about, honestly. It's not a bad spread we have right now. I would like to get some physical books off my TBR because I am running out of room on my top shelves to put books that I've read. And so I could really use the space on these bottom shelves, but it's fine for now. Maybe I'll just get another TBR cart someday in the near future. But for prompt number 6, we're gonna go with this one, which is free pick. Okay, so I also got this one last time, and last time I picked Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas because it's the next book in the Throne of Glass series. If you're not subscribed to me, I am doing a reading vlog series where I discuss I read the Throne of Glass books for the first time and talk about how I feel and give spoilers. So if you're at all curious in my thoughts about that series, you can check it out. Again, I'll put it somewhere, the playlist to that series, one of these corners. I can never figure out where, but I think I'm going to pick Finale by Stephanie Garber. Let me go grab it. It's at the very top of my shelves. So this is the last book in the Caraval trilogy, which is a young adult fantasy series that follows 2 sisters who go to this magical festival. I don't know, I feel like if I tell you much else, it spoils. There's not much to know when you go into it. It's really just about the vibe of it all. But yeah, in the spirit of finishing series, because I do want to finish some series this month, this is going to be my free pick. Besides, I liked the first book quite a bit. The second one I didn't like as much, but it left me with some questions that I need to have answered. So it's gotta get read now. I started this series a year ago, last November, so I think it's just the right time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. 2 more prompts left. This is going by so quick. All right. The next prompt I'm gonna pick this one. All right, we have bought because I saw it on YouTube. This was also something that I pulled the most recent time I tried to film this video. That is pretty much almost every book on my shelf, to be honest. I am so easily influenced. This is gonna be a tough one to pick because I want to read all of these books. The last time I did this, I picked Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It's on my fall TBR. I'm just not 100% positive I want to read it this month. Okay, it's in between Hamnet or Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. Ooh. We're not going to talk about that. So here's the thing. I bought Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater because I saw quite a few people reading this on YouTube. Half of them really loved it and half of them really felt meh about it. It is a cozy fantasy, and a lot of the people who didn't like it said that it just didn't have high enough stakes for them. But the thing about me is that fantasy, the high stakes part of fantasy, gives me so much anxiety that I really wanted to try a cozy fantasy and see how I would feel about it. Hamnet, on the other hand, is a historical fiction that takes place during the 1500s in England. I got this book because I saw one person read it and say they absolutely loved it. I don't know, it's a tough one. Do I want to read a historical fiction this month or do I want to read a cozy fantasy? I feel like I have quite a bit of fantasy already with Heartless Hunter, Hooked, and Finale. Maybe I should go for the historical fiction. And honestly, I feel like this one gives November more than this one does. I can't say why. So I think I'm gonna go with Hamnet. The reason I'm very unsure about this is because I just read If We Were Villains by ML Rio, and I actually DNF'd it just because, well, part of the reason was the Shakespeare was just so heavy-handed. They were quoting it constantly and it felt so pretentious. Like, I've read Shakespeare, but I didn't understand everything, so I was really struggling with that, and I don't know why. I think because it's Hamnet, I'm automatically associating this with Shakespeare. I can't remember if the person who I saw read this mentioned anything about Shakespeare. For some reason in my head, I think the main character's husband is Shakespeare. I don't know. So I'm very nervous about this book, but hopefully I like it. I don't know, I'm so nervous. Last prompt. I always feel so sad every time it's time for the last prompt because I don't want to stop picking books. It's fun. All right. Last prompt. I don't know what I'm hoping to get on here. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. This one. Oh my goodness, why am I struggling? What does that say? Billionaire, a billionaire romance? That's interesting. I'm pretty sure I put this prompt in this jar for the Dreamland Billionaires trilogy, and I've already finished that. Okay, I originally thought of Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. It's the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe, but I'm not positive if Daisy Hates is a billionaire. The other option I have, which is like, it's not a romance, which was what the prompt was initially intended for, but all it says is billionaire, and I am in the middle of the Inheritance Games series, and the main character inherits billions of dollars. So I think that could work. I've read the first 2 books. The third one is The Final Gambit, and I have that one downloaded onto my Kindle. So I could read that one this month, or I could pick that one for this prompt. I just heard that that series gets progressively worse and worse. I really liked the first book. The second one I was kind of disappointed in, and I've heard it just doesn't get better, so I'm not sure. But let me look on Instagram for some billionaire romances and see what I find. How do you spell billionaire? All these billionaire romances are like dark romances, like mafia romances that I'm finding on Instagram right now. Okay, I'm not seeing anything about it being a billionaire romance for Daisy Hates. Alright, well then I think I'm gonna go with The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's the 3rd book in the Inheritance Games trilogy, which, if you haven't heard about or read, it is about a girl who is kind of pretty much living in poverty. Her mom passed away and her sister took her in, but she kind of lives out of her car. It's a weird situation when all of a sudden she finds out that she inherited billions of dollars from a man she never met. And it's a crazy story. What I really liked about that book is that there's just a lot of like puzzles, because they're trying to figure out why this random girl gets all of this money. And so the first book was just so fun, and there's a bunch of different family members. So there's 4 grandsons that she interacts with the most, and they are just all so funny. And I really liked the first book. The second one, honestly, kind of let me down. I know I already said that, so I'm really anxious. Like, I'm just really unsure about this 3rd book, but she was a billionaire, so I'm going to count it for this prompt, which means we have 4 Kindle books and 4 physical books this month. I'm not mad about it. It's just weird. Other than play along, I have all the books downloaded on Kindle Unlimited already. Let's do a little wrap up. The first prompt was short stories, and I am going with Jewel Box by E. Lily Yu. Next we have Published in My Birth Month, which means it needs to be published in November, and Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes was published on November 4th, so it's perfect for this prompt. For a book published this year, I'm going to be reading Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. For a Kindle Unlimited book, I'm going to be reading Play Along by Liz Tomford, and for a retelling, I'm going to be reading Hooked by Emily McIntyre. For a free pick, I chose Finale by Stephanie Garber. For a book I bought because I saw it on BookTube, I chose Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Finally, what was supposed to be a billionaire romance, but a book about a billionaire, I guess, I am going to be reading The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Jennifer Lynn Barnes is featured twice this month on my TBR. That's kind of funny. It looks like a tiny little TBR, but there's a lot more books because of all the Kindle books. I'm honestly really happy with this TBR. It is not like any of the other books that I had initially picked the past 2 times I tried to record this video, but I'm okay with it, honestly. There's a lot of really good books on here that I want to read, and I already have a few video ideas for some of these books, so I'm super excited. That being said, let me know down in the comments what book you bought because BookTube influenced you to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.